Rumors are everywhere that Mookie Betts, the new acquisition for the Los Angeles Dodgers, is negotiating and finalizing a mega deal. They're saying $350 to $400 million, more than 10 years. Everyone's excited. It's a Twitter storm. This means that all the best free agents now will be signed. It means all the owners are doing great, and it was all BS that they've lost money during the pandemic. Great for baseball, great for the Dodgers, great for everyone, except Red Sox fans, of course. Could it be true? I think it's unbelievable. Why, I ask you, are the Los Angeles Dodgers ready to sign Mookie Betts today? Today. Well, on one side, you want to get any extensions done before the regular season starts. I don't agree with negotiating with players during the course of a season. It's distracting to both the front office and to the player and to the clubhouse, because the player talks to all of his teammates. Hey, they upped their offer by $10 million. Hey, I got another year. And then you've got jealousy and you've got snipping and snapping and biting and booming. So I get that the Dodgers would want to get it done. Regular season opens for them tomorrow, home against the Posey-less Giants. The other factor, the Giants, not the Giants. Other factor, 3, 2, 1. The other factor is the Dodgers acquired Mookie Betts thinking they'd get 1 year. They traded away, as you recall, Alex Verdugo, Jeter Downs, and they got 1 year of Betts. But then it was down to 60 games with the chance that it's 0. Maybe they won't be having a postseason. So then the Dodgers said, why did we make this trade? So what I've done over the course of my career way too many times, you make a mistake, you compound the mistake by making another mistake. It's the old adage, 2 wrongs don't make a right. What is the rush for the Dodgers? Here's how this plays out. Let's just pretend that the pandemic ends 2 weeks from yesterday. Fans are back in the stands. Everything's back to normal. It's all good. In that case, the Dodgers are in a position right now where they've got quite a few contracts coming off their books over the next 2 years. Whether it's David Price, remember they're paying $16 million a year for Price for the next 2 years, but they did save money this year, about $6 million because Price opted out. The free agent signing, A.J. Pollock, he'll come off the books. Justin Turner, in theory, will come off the books. Clayton Kershaw, in theory, will come off the books. But who will come on the books? Well, you've got your own player, Bellinger. Yes, the MVP, Bellinger. And how about your future ace, Walker Buehler? All of those guys will get older, and they will then need to be paid. So are you choosing that you are going to build your team around Bellinger and Betts and Buehler? Those could be 3 $300 million players. Well, the Yankees have Stanton as a $300 million player. They have Cole as a $300 million player. Do the Yankees have a third $300 million player? Let me think. Okay, no. So what payroll do the Dodgers need to be at in order to have Betts at $35 million? Does it make sense? In circumstances, I would say yes. Build around him. But here's why not today. They don't know him. They haven't lived with him yet. Yes, they went through a spring training part 1. Yes, they went through a spring training part 2. But why sign an acquisition before he has played with you, before you've gotten to live with him? I hearken back to many, many moons ago when the Detroit Tigers traded for Dontrelle Willis and immediately signed him to an extension and rued the day. He hadn't pitched an inning for them. There are teams that do this time and time again, and they get burnt more often than they don't. Everyone's going to be all excited about this signing when it happens. The commissioner is going to be thrilled. He's in favor of this signing, even though he'll say privately maybe he's not. Publicly, he has to say this is great for the game. It shows that free agency is going to be okay as we move forward into a collective bargaining negotiation at the end of 2021. Other owners are going to be despondent, as they always are when a player comes off the board at such a high price, because now there's already pressure on the Philadelphia Phillies and their owner, John Middleton, to sign JT Realmuto, who's going to be a free agent, when the prudent thing to do was to wait not just for the season to end, but to see what happens next off season, to see whether or not fans are allowed back in the parks, to see what's happening with revenue. I just can't believe it. It's unbelievable. I don't know why Betts will be signed. Will he actually be signed? Will this deal get done? My experience tells me when all these rumors start, when there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot that would need to get done to paper a deal like that. They could have been working on it this entire spring training part 2. And from Betts' standpoint, by the way, let's not ignore Betts' standpoint. You think he doesn't want to take the 350? He's taking it so fast your head will spin. It's funny, the Dodgers are in the news because they're thinking of giving $350 million one direction. But in the other direction, they're doing things to not pay a player what that player could deserve. How do I feel about that? I like it. I like it a lot. Gavin Lux is a Rookie of the Year contender. He will not win Rookie of the Year because he's not on the team. Gavin Lux, remember the Dodgers second baseman? He got a bunch of postseason at-bats. Unbelievable player. Everyone wanted him, and no one and the Dodgers would not trade him. Well, it turns out that Gavin Lux did not make the 30-man roster. Not 28-man roster, not 26-man roster, not 25-man roster, 30 men. That's the COVID roster for the first 2 weeks of this season. Gavin Lux isn't one of the top 30 Dodgers? Of course he is. What could be another reason that the Dodgers would send Gavin Lux to the minor leagues? Hold on, we're going to take a minute. I'm going to think about it. Well, maybe he had a bad spring training part 2. No. Maybe he has a sort of a hitch in his swing. No. Oh, he must not be ready defensively. Bad glove. No. Wait, there's one more thing. It'll come to me. Service time manipulation. Yes. S-T-M. Give me an S. Give me a T. Give me an M. I love service time manipulation because it's within the rules and it saves millions of dollars. Not $35 million a year that they're thinking of giving to Mookie Betts or whatever the average annual value will be of that unbelievable deal that is being rumored. But by sending Gavin Lux down to the minor leagues. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, there are no minor leagues. You don't send a player down to the minor leagues. There's a 90% chance that Coca does not have the mute button on, and I just heard him get a text with his new fancy soundboard and microphone. It may not be true, but it may be true. It will be fascinating whether or not Coca admits that the noise that we just heard on the show that he's not going to edit out because we don't edit anything out is someone texting him or G-chatting him or C-chatting him or K-chatting him. So Gavin Lux being sent to the minor leagues? Nope. There's no minor leagues. Now, he can go to their camp, their development camp, but it's not like he's going to play games. He'll have a bunch of inter-squad games like they've been doing for spring training 2.0. You're sending him down saying he's got to work on this, work on that. No, just stand up and say it if you're the Dodgers. Come on, Andrew Friedman. I know you're better than that. Just say it. I know you can't because it's against the rules. I always wanted to say it when we were sending players down for service time manipulation. I just wanted to be honest with everyone and say, yeah, of course we're doing that. Who wouldn't do that? But we were never allowed to admit it. Although I'm nothing personal. I've admitted every player we did that to, and there were many because it's the rules. If players don't like it, and I spoke to players about this all the time, players would approach me in the clubhouse very often and talk about service time manipulation, one of their biggest issues. And I would simply say, negotiate in the next collective bargaining agreement. Make it your issue. Instead of extra seats on the bus or extra food in the kitchen or extra off days or more travel days or earlier start times, make service time an issue for you. Anyway, they never did. Maybe this next collective bargaining agreement they will. But as far as I'm concerned, if something's within the rules, I'm doing it. So I like that the Dodgers are doing it. Does it create an interesting dichotomy that they're saving money in one spot and spending money in the other? No. That's called business. That's what people do. You take resources, you take it from one pocket, you put it in another, you spend it on X instead of Y. You make decisions. You put your payroll out 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You're making decisions now, who you're going to keep, who you're not going to keep. That is how you inform your on-field decisions. Gavin Lux, not on the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, maybe on the Dodgers forever.